You're watching Fox Sports.
They break the Tigers banner, and there's the full team readout. Jack, Lawson, Davidson, Wigham, Bridge, Martin Lane, Pearce, Schofield, Brooks, Hemsley, Whittaker and Roach. And the red and white banners go up for the first time today. Johnson, Gearan, Morris, O'Connor, Beattie, Trudgett, Henjack, Fraser, Wynne, Walsh, Jensen. Jones comes in, replacing the injured John Dowling and Stone. Kick-off. First semi-final, Winfield Cup 1983. Sudden death, the Balmain Tigers and the St George Dragons. Johnson tackled 15 out from his line, centre field. St George guarding the Randwick end. Walsh playing in number 10. A swarm of young Tigers going in to make the first tackle. Robert Stone. Schofield low. Up the top was his second row partner Brooks. Fired back for the kick by Graham Wynne. Running into the breeze and beautifully taken out there by Davidson. Fraser and O'Connor making the tackle. Jack goes away with it for the Golden Blacks. This is Bridge. Play about 15 metres on the Balmain side of halfway. Showground side. Lane across and the decoy up the middle and then given out wider to Roach. Roach taken by Stone, a jolting tackle. Now Hemsley. Up he goes, gets it away. Lane down to Schofield. St George coming in to make the tackle. Again it was Robert Stone. Now Lane spins it left. Brooks to kick. Looking for that scoreboard corner. And it's getting across to go in touch in goal. Back to the 22 for the restart by St George. There's the Rank Arena replay of the attempt by David Brooks to find the line. It was just a fraction too long. Jones. Taken by Hemsley and Whittaker. And from Henjack to Jansen, the run around on the spread of the ball, put down by Fraser, and it is a St George ball. He'll play the knock on just outside St George's quarter. Roy Masters, St George coach. Graham Hughes, how do you see it going?
Well, a little bit of early ball indecision, some long balls there, just nerves, the natural thing for so many players playing at the cricket ground for the first time.
Balmain winning the scrum. Martin out to Jack onto Bridge. Stands, gets the ball down to Lane. Backing up. Taken to ground by Trudgett. Who do you think will win, Bill Anderson?
I like the chances of Balmain in this game. I just think that 3 games in 7 days will be too much for St George, plus the fact they've lost their hooker in John Dowling. I think Balmain will get away with this one.
Well, they've got this very important penalty on the 22 line. About 20 metres in from the Brawongle stand, the touchline, and David Brooks to take his first kick at goal at headquarters in this match today. 57 goals, he's missed 33 of them, success rate 63.3. Outstanding prospect. And that's the background that he's seeing with the new electronic scoreboard to go on those foundations. Now we come head on to David as he lines up this shot, strikes it, and he's got it. That'll do his confidence the world of good. And Balmain's too. They lead 2-0. You're watching the Rank Arena big game. Sudden death semi-final. St George kicking off down to Balmain, who lead 2-0. Davidson brings it back. Outside the 10 and coming inside the 22, the St George defence makes the hit. But Graham Wynne is second, so is Davidson, the man who took the tackle. Davidson is still on the ground. Lane comes away. Crabwise. Roach goes flat. 32 metres out from his line. Jensen and Trudgett together with Jones, the tacklers. Now Brooks. Jones again making the tackle. This is Hemsley working on the blind side.
big test in time today for Hemsley and Roach too, up against St George, the pack that's got on top in the last 2 matches over the East pack, and of course the Eels Siege.
Penalty to the Saints. Incorrect play of the ball by Kerry Hemsley. Picking the ball up out of the play the ball contest. So Steve Guerin opting not to take a shot at the sticks with the breeze against him.
Now we've got St George in a good attacking position. On Wednesday night, of course, Brian Johnson was the key to much of their attack. He looked for runs out blind and wide on the blind side and out wide on the open side, and I'm sure that he'll be getting involved for St George in this very much.
And here's Trudgett. Now to O'Connor, back to Trudgett, run around, picks up Johnson. Johnson gets the pass away to Morris. Morris gets inside one. Bridges got him inside the quarter. Paddington Hill corner. Play back to Trudgett. Long ball out to Fraser. Jones. Henjak switches it back to the blind. No, he's not. The defence is up too quickly. Tackled on the 22 line by Hemsley, and Brooks is Henjak. Out Stone. And the Tigers go in. The kick from Tony Trudgett. Gary Jack, his first test. Well taken as Trudgett came through to put them all onside. Wayne Pearce. Taken by Walsh. In front of the uprights. Only about 7 metres from his line. Balmain leading 2-0. Wing three-quarter Lawson to play it. Lane. Very fast off the mark, the Balmain half. And that's the general trend of league in 83 under these new rules. Instead of having the big forwards work it out, it's the play of most coaches to bring a winger or a halfback, somebody with a bit of speed into the dummy half area to try and clear it. Big kick by Kerry Hemsley. Taken by Johnson. He's over the halfway. He's inside 45, inside 32, inside 22. He's going inside the 10, and he's taken into touch 3 metres out. Oh, good run by Brian Johnson. That brought the Dragons fans to their feet. And how? Brian Johnson.
Yes, a magnificent run from Johnson, but brought about by indecision again in Balmain this time. The ball going back to Hemsley, who we haven't seen kick the ball all year. They're just very disorganised.
Yes, it was a very ordinary tackle also by Wayne Wigham. Wigham's been one of the best defensive centres in Sydney, but there he just didn't have the pace to match it with Brian Johnson.
St George pack about 34 kilos heavier than the Balmain side. Ball played by Lane as Balmain win another scrum. Balmain, of course, having the feed then. This is Schofield.
One of the areas where the St George defence was very poor on Tuesday night in the playoff against Eastern Suburbs was around the marker area, and I'm sure there's something that Roy Masters will have worked on in their last couple of training sessions.
Steve Roach, just beyond 22. Hemsley. Ooh, good run by Hemsley. Graham Wynn tried to take him head on, and he came off second best. But a knock-on has taken place. Hemsley. Look at Graham Wynn coming off on the seat of his pants. Henjak feeds. Clean heel. St George scrum win. Henjak looking for the opening, but Wayne Pearce closes it. Fraser. Now Wynn. Taken by Brooks and by Pearce. And Wynn's been involved in a couple of heavy body contacts. This is Jones. Schofield is the 9. Brooks is number 10. Henjak. Trudgett cuts out Jansen by turning it back inside. Picks up O'Connor. Roach up the top. Whittaker down below. Fraser. 13 is Stone. Johnson's with him. This is him. And hit by Bridge and taken, ball and all. Jones again. Around the back to Henjak. Trudgett. Henjak kicks across field. Inside the 22. Coming in as Davidson. Takes it well. Takes it very well. Tigers doing it tough out there. Trying to get it outside their 22 line. Lane's in possession. Tackled by Walsh. This is Steve Martin, left thigh, heavily taped. Balmain 2-0, Rank Arena big game, first semi-final. Roach. Whittaker. Hemsley. Jansen goes low. Stone will want to get off him shortly. Lane. Martin puts the right foot to it, sends it off towards that touch line, but Johnson's got it covered. Well, he proved dangerous last time they gave him some open space. Not so this time. Henjack. Blindside for Jansen. Now to O'Connor. O'Connor taken by Bridge.
A very important tackle for Balmain. O'Connor was off and running and had Steve Morris in support on the inside.
Henjack. Win. Oh, another big hit. That time David Brooks came out second best. Well, I guess if Graham Wynn kept trying, he had to come out on top of one of those heavy body clashes. Jansen, short ball. O'Connor's there, taken by Davidson and by Roach.
Yes, even today it's very noticeable that Roy Masters has St George playing blindside attack all of the time. They're taking play 2 and 3 tackles to the middle, then coming back down the blind side, and it's being effective for them.
Davidson brings back the kick from Henjack. Graham Wynn down on his haunches. Henjack also is injured over in the back. 2 St George players down as the touch judge comes in. The Saints with 2 players receiving attention as Kerry Hemsley will be spoken to by referee Kevin Roberts. Here's the reason the touch judge has come in. Late tackle on Ivan Henjack, and a penalty goes to the St George side. Steve Guerin shooting for the sticks. 32 metres out, 9 metres in. Graham Wynn back on his feet. Steve Guerin has a success rate of 67.9, but he had 100% here on Tuesday night. Magnificent goal-kicking exhibition. He took our Rank Arena Electronic Sales and Rentals Man of the Match award. Steve Rogers watching on with Johnny Raper in the back play there in the background. Wide angle for Guerin. Big breeze coming right into his face. Here comes Guerin. It's got height, it's got length, and he's got the goal! Steve Guerin. Oh, is he kicking well at the moment? Balmain Saints 2-all. That's a mighty kick, Graham.
Yes, I think it takes us back to 1980
when you were cheering for him.
Well, Steve kicked 6 out of 6 in the 80 grand final, and you put that 8 out of 8 on Tuesday against East.
So that's 15 out of 15
in his last 3 attempts here at the cricket ground.
Gee, you blokes have bombarded me with some statistics now. Steve Martin sends it down inside the 22, or Graham Wynn. It York at him. Guerin comes away with it. St George inside the 22, Randwick into the ground. 2 points all. Walsh tackled on the 22.
Yes, there's no doubt that St George are playing with plenty of confidence following those wins over East and Parramatta. But if Balmain can just more than match them up until, say, the last 10 or 15 minutes of the match, they should be finishing all over the top of them.
Well, you saw the ball come firing out of the grasp of Robert Stone. It hit referee Kevin Roberts. Balmain were able to pick up possession. He's allowed play to go on. And Gary Jack has taken in defence there. By Wynn, he's lost it. Saints have come up with it. Play on, says the referee. It's out to Jones and gone now to Fraser. Quick stretch to the right of the field. Trudgett getting in between players, striding downfield to the halfway. There's a player on his inside, Fraser. But Stevie Martin got between him and the ball runner. This is O'Connor. Bridges the tackler.
There you can see the advantage of a team that is prepared to move the ball very quickly to the flanks on those quick turnovers of play. St George then were able to make 60 or 70 metres on one play the ball because they moved the ball quickly where the defence wasn't.
Walsh plays it. Jones passes. Picks up Stone. And Stone. He got away from the tackle off. Colin Fraser took his eyes off the game and Stone really needed him. It's Henjak. Trudgett. O'Connor. He's put it down. Knock on. Scrum. Just inside 32. Balmain's end of the ground.
Well, we have seen some kicks for the sideline in this game, but we haven't seen any real judicious kicking, bombs, chips over the top, grubber kicks, etc. And I'm sure that in the near future we'll see both of these teams start to produce a very big kicking game to break up the defence.
Scrums a 2-1 to Balmain. Frank Stanton. Penalty. Balmain.
Yes, that was for the lock forward breaking from the scrum before the ball had come out.
So Kevin Roberts gives the penalty to the Tigers. Steve Martin will be looking for touch. So midway between the 22 and halfway, St George's into the field. The tap will be taken again by Martin. Given to Whittaker, back to Martin, now to Hemsley, back to Martin, a double run round, back to Schofield who's dropped it. Saints have got it, I think. No, Schofield still got the ball. Hemsley, Lane, David Brooks. Driving in there was Fraser. Lane, Roach, hitting it to the blind side for one.
Yes, it's easy pickings at the moment for the St George pack. Balmain continuing just to run one out.
Now it's out to Martin and across through bridge. The run around has worked and Jack is going up the centre hard to the 22 line. Fraser again the tackler. Whittaker, Lane, Bridge, Schofield. Flung to the ground by O'Connor. Martin. Bomb, not a bad one. Put down by the Saints. Balmain have come back with it. 6 more tackles. Wayne Pearce to play it. 11 metres out from the line.
Balmain have got a good line out left-hand side. They've got 2 players out there. I think it's Gary Jack and the winger Davidson opposed to Steve Morris. 2-on-1 situation.
Yes, St George very stretched on the left.
So it should go quickly left for Balmain. It is. Lane out to Wigham. Wigham decides to try it himself. Lane backs him up, but he's tackled.
And continue to go left.
6 metres out from the St George line. Here's the wrap going left. Martin, Jack, short ball. Pearce out of 1. Strides inside the 10. Can he pop it? No. 5 metres out from St George's line. Whittaker, Roach. From Whittaker, he's ruled a little knock on apparently.
Yes,
he's putting a knock
on it to play the ball.
Let's see it on the head-on Rank Arena replay. Just a tiny one hidden by the St George players. In fact, for a moment I thought Roberts was going to give a penalty for Roach being inside the 5 in attack. Whatever happened to that rule? Touch judge in to make a report now.
It has died a very slow death, hasn't it?
There's the second replay of it. Oh, gee, there wasn't much in it, was there? But in my opinion, he could have easily given the penalty to St George against Roach for being inside the 5 in attack. So there's probably no reason for Balmain fans to feel badly done by on this occasion. Lane plays it. They're only 8 metres out. Valuable scrum win. Pearce has rucked it to within 3 metres of the line. Lane is the dummy half. Out it comes to Schofield. They switch the point of the attack from Martin. It's gone to Brooks, and Brooks has tackled. Beautiful grass-cutting tackle by Tony Trudgett. Now, to the left again. Scoreboard corner. That's where they're hitting it. Hemsley, held by Jensen and Henjak. Now, to the left on the blind, it's Roach. Taken to ground by Graham Wynn. Dummy half is Lane. Out it comes to Martin for the bomb. Getting underneath it, Brian Johnson. That breeze is very strong, and Johnson rates it over the dead ball line. Line drop out to recommence play.
Well, we saw there where Neil Whittaker won a scrum against the feed, and this could be one of the problems that St George are going to have today. Richard Jones, hooker up out of second grade, and even though St George have got a big pack, Balmain are one of the best scrummaging teams in the competition.
Michael Beattie taking the line drop out.
That's Balmain's best period of play. They didn't rush things there. They utilised the full 6 tackles and they showed great variation in attack. But St George were equal to the occasion and top defence.
Jack now playing it. 25 metres out. Brooks on the quarter. He lost it. Saints have got this ball. And Walsh is the man in possession, but he's injured. Minor grade results. South defeating Manly 14-12. Canterbury defeating Balmain in reserve 6-4. Of course today all sudden death football. There's a replay of the tackle on David Brooks made by Walsh and Stone, and Walsh, his body got twisted up there underneath the fallen bodies of Brooks and Stone. Picked up by Johnson, lost by Johnson. Balmain with a chance. Whittaker. Whittaker is 18 metres out. Played back to Hemsley. Now's the time to attack for Balmain. Lane, Pearce, run around Lane inside the 22 line. Taken by Trudgett and by Henjag. Hemsley. Hemsley. 15 out. Pearce. Lane. Martin. Cuts out Bridge, picks up Jack, run around for Bridge, coming wider, and Wigham goes hard up the centre, stands, tackled on the 22 though. Now it's with Roach, holds up his pass. Wynn and Stone go in to make the tackle. Whittaker, Lane, Martin, Bomb, going down to Steve Morris. Morris has taken it nicely, and he's still in the field of play.
That's a couple of times we've seen Balmain use the kick, but when they do it, they're doing it 2 out off the ruck, not 1 off the ruck, which makes it more difficult for the defence to get to the person kicking the ball, and also means the defensive line will have come up a bit further. It's not a bad play.
All right, at this stage, let's see how former Australian captain Max Krilich is seeing the game from the sidelines.
Well, Ray, it's a very even battle at the moment. I think Balmain are just playing a little bit too tight at the moment. All they're doing is taking it straight off the dummy half and one man out, and yet St George is throwing the ball around a bit, using the blind side very well. And I think the defence on both sides is quite good. The forward clashes are quite heavy, and there's some toll being taken on some of the players.
Max Krilich from the sidelines. He'll be with us right through the final series on 10 Sports, covering the big ones for you.
I'd like to agree with Max there too. I'd like to see Balmain start to spread that ball a great deal more, use their backs. They definitely look a lot better when they do go out wide.
This is Lawson. Player centred about 10 metres into St George's area, repeating the scoreline. St George, Balmain, 2 points all. Whittaker. Hemsley. Got a pass away to Whittaker, but he was crunched by Wynn. Midway 22 halfway, St George's end. Lane giving it to Martin. Martin to Brooks, a couple of crosses, and Brooks is brought down now. 5 tackles gone for the Tigers. Martin's the player to watch. Here he is. And there goes the bomb. Another test for Brian Johnson. He's put it down. Knocked on though by Gary Bridge. Oh, that was a chance. Did it come off the hand or the knee? That's the question being asked of me by one of our commentators.
Well, looking at the disappointment on Jack, it did come off his hand.
I'm prepared to think he got a hand to it. And Kevin Roberts putting the scrum down just outside the St George line.
This is a very important scrum for St George. They've been under a lot of pressure, and if Balmain come up with this one, it's even further pressure.
He's let it go. Henjack to Trudgett. Trudgett able to stand for what seemed an eternity, and Steve Martin eventually wrestling him to ground. Graham Wynn.
Well, we still haven't seen St George use a judicious kicking game, and they have got opportunities to do it. Balmain playing no cover defence. There's a hole there in front of the fullback and behind the defensive line with players such as Steve Morris that are good kick chasers. I'd be employing a big kicking game.
Here's Morris. Morris is tackled 25 metres out from his line. Graham Wynn still looking for attention. He's sought it a couple of times in the match so far. That's the 5th tackle for St George. Morris plays it. Jansen passes for the kick to Henjack. Henjack's kick is a good one. It's a good one. Finding touch 32 metres out from the Balmain line. Rankarina replay. Bouncing just in front of Davidson and then leapfrogging him.
It gave him virtually no chance of coming up with the ball. It was a good kick by Henjack, and he's been a real bonus for Coach Roy Masters since he's moved into that halfback position, organising play, controlling the rucks and using his kicking game.
I didn't like the look of Graham Wynn getting into that scrum. So it's Balmain winning it again, and a cutout pass by Martin, beautifully delivered to Bridge and given on to Wigham and floated out along the line to Lawson. Lawson runs hard, coming at him, Beattie. Beattie's got him. 8 metres on the Balmain side of halfway. Wigham takes off. Gets the pass to Lane. Well taken. On to Martin. Now to Hemsley. Hemsley. Whittaker's with him, but he's going to take them on. Pat Jarvis getting ready to come on for the Dragons. Balmain still on the attack, however. It's out to Martin. Now to Schofield. This is Jack. And Tony Trudgett, together with Fraser, put him to ground. Jarvis in 17, taking the field. He'll replace Graham Wynn as Martin puts in the kick, and he's found it. Oh, that's a good kick by Steve Martin. The whiz. So the scrum packs deep inside Saints territory. Oh, good win by Balmain's hooker. Martin to Pearce now. Martin, Jack, Wigham. Wigham holds it up. Bridge can't handle. Henjack comes up with it. Little Ivan Henjack, a clean break. Picks up Stevie Morris. Morris is flying. Over hole. He got a hand to him.
Great effort by Davidson there to come across in cover defence. Just clipped Morris on the heel and saved a try under the posts.
Oh dear. Stevie Morris was about to be off for the prize. Right under the uprights in front of the Bradman stand patrons.
Well, it's the case of almost. We almost saw Balmain score a try, and in the next breath we almost saw St George score a try. Who is going to score first?
Oh, this is ulcer material for both sets of fans. Jones turns it back inside to Jarvis. Electric atmosphere as the Tigers and the Dragons do battle, and it's St George throwing it. And it's Johnson, taken by Bridge. Trudgett reaches the 22 line. Gearan was the player you saw flashing through. Henjack works the blind, finds his captain, Jansen. Jansen pops the ball down for O'Connor. It's gone to Morris. Morris steps in field, comes around behind them, gets it to Trudgett. It's gone to Beattie. Beattie finds in the centre of the field Trudgett. Out it goes. Fraser knocked down by Balmain. Play on. Morris is 3 out. 3 metres out. First tackle, says the referee.
The ball must come out to the sideline.
Stone passes to Trudgett. Trudgett, cut out pass. Torpedo. Out to Johnson. Try coming. Yes, Gearan. Gearan has scored for St George. The crowd goes up. Roy Masters. Steve Gearan. And a scene of jubilation for the red and whites. Exactly as Graham said, it had to come left, and that pass by Tony Trudgett. It was an absolute gem of a pass. And Johnson drew them, gave Gearan that free passage. And Steve Gearan, who knows something about scoring points at the headquarters of rugby league, plants down the ball for the first try in the sudden death semi-final. Rankarina replay. Guerin sends St George to a 6-2 lead. Hits it, looking good, looking good. It's hit the upright and bounced out. St George leading Balmain by 6-2. The high drama of the semi-final. Martin restarts. Guerin, try scorer, goal kicker. He'll never forget the sensational try that he scored in that grand final Graham's talking about when he worked with Greg Brentnell, wasn't it, Greg?
Yes, a magnificent try.
Balmain have got the ball. Brooks passes left to Martin. Schofield out wide. Steps inside. He gets a pass inside to Bridge. Bridge is a metre from the line. Second tackle for the Tigers. Martin out to Lane. Now to Roach. One-hander to Pearce. Loose. Saints have got it. Jarvis has the ball for the red and whites. Trudgett. Jansen.
Just a little bit of inexperience starting to show in the Balmain side. They're pushing passes that aren't on, uncharacteristic passes, because we've seen them play fairly tight football in the last few weeks, and that's allowing St George to get the ball and to put pressure back on them.
Well, Greg Lane is injured in the back play. As you can see, he tried to make a tackle on Pat Jarvis as Johnson kicks downfield, taken by Gary Jack. Winding up to the halfway, taken by Jansen.
Yes, and that inexperience is being revealed in the fact that Balmain have fumbled the ball 9 times to St George's 5 in this first 30 minutes of play.
Lawson to play it now. Out to Martin. Now it's with David Brooks. Tried to hold his pass up for Pearce. Bridge. Martin, Hemsley. Pretty heavy traffic in there. Jarvis, Jansen and Walsh. It's a nice trio to take on. Roach.
That's what they've just got to do, Balmain. They've got to work play away. I know that last try for mine came against the run of play. They've just got to settle themselves down and not rush things.
Chip ahead by Martin. Wiggum's going fast. Oh, Johnson's turned defence into attack. Out to the 22, but Martin makes the tackle as Lane receives attention, still in the back play. This is Beattie. The referee is probably concerned about where Lane is on the ground. It's getting away from him now. As Jarvis turns it back to Trudgett, it goes to O'Connor. He gets around Steve Martin. He comes outside 32, gets to the 45 line, and is put down. Lane back on his feet for Balmain.
Yes, but isn't O'Connor an improved footballer in this second round of football? He's played absolutely tremendous for St George, and there he showed a lot of pace to get around Martin.
Robert Stone is about 7 metres his side of the halfway. Almost in centre field as they work towards the showground side. Johnson kicks. Davidson's got it covered. Jack. Jarvis up the top, Hemjack down below. Jarvis has done some nice things since he came on in the 24th minute, replacing the injured Graham Wynn. Wiggum. Shoulder high. Crowd roared, but the referee saw it and indicated that it wasn't a high tackle. Hemsley's put it down. And a chance for the Dragons if they stretch it. Fraser gallops into a gap. He's got away from Wayne Pearce, held by Gary Bridge, just inside the 22 line. Morris, off he goes. Morris, taken by Brooks. Well, he'll give a penalty. That's for walking off the mark against Steve Morris. Here's the reason for the penalty. We'll have all the highlights of this match in Sports Week tomorrow morning. Max Krilich will be our special guest. Steve Mortimer will be on the show. We'll be talking to Jack Gibson. All the rugby league tomorrow morning. Davidson. And of course tomorrow night the Rank Arena big game The next of our semi-finals, Parramatta and Canterbury. Brooks. Whittaker, Lane, Martin turns it around. That's a nice piece of football, and Lane has been taken by O'Connor. Very sharp tactics by Balmain. Martin, Roach. Some very heavy hitting going on in there. Brooks shows it, then gallops into the space. Brooks has taken play just outside the St George 22, fourth tackle. And 6 points to 2 to St George. Martin sends it off towards that corner. He'll find touch, and it'll be a scrum 9 metres away from the St George line. Steve Martin is cool as a cucumber, just giving his winger a chance and also a little bit of each way betting, finding touch at the same time. 6-3 scrums to Balmain, and another. It's out to Martin. Martin! He's in! Martin has scored for Balmain! Martin has picked up the equaliser. Another scrum against the feed. That's the third. David's only had the one shot. It was successful to put first points on the board. He should have little difficulty with this. The nerves should be well and truly settled, and he does. He pilots it straight between the uprights for the Tigers to go back to the lead at 8 points to 6. Mike O'Connor kicks off and taken by Bridge, met by Walsh. Schofield. There goes the chance for the Tigers. Hemsley. Tiger. Roach gives a nice ball down to Wayne Pearce. Whittaker. That's the halfway line you see. Martin. Good kick. Oh, great kick by Steve Martin. Finding touch, 15 out. Very close to half-time. Rank Arena replay. Well, Martin should have a good view of the clock because that's exactly where he's facing. But his eyes are on this pass from Lane, and now the deliver of the ball to Jack, who throws it away and hopes, and Martin does very well and gets the pass away. It's gone through Pearce to Wigham on the bounce, picked up by Davidson, given away for Lawson. Lawson has scored! Balmain's second try. Well, look at the faces of those young Tigers. Lawson has scored with the half-time siren about to sound. This is how it happened. They had the scrum feed, the loose head. Martin called Jack into the play. He threw that pass in desperation. Pearce it was who kept it going to Wigham. Wigham got a pass away, picked up on the bounce by Davidson, who'd come from the left wing, and then Lawson, the right winger, was able to plunge in and score. This is the Rank Arena head-on replay.
Yes, a good football from Jack, who flicked that ball. He knew that if he took the tackle, the siren would probably sound. This is where big matches like semi-finals are won and lost, in the period just before and just after half-time. The Tigers getting the advantage here, and they should be finishing on strongly in the second half.
12 points to 6 in favour of those fellows. Balmain. By far underway. David Brooks has his hardest kick at goal. 5 metres in, 25 out. Hits it. Scott Hyde. Got length. Oh, that's a great kick from young David Brooks. Tremendous kick. Balmain 14, St George 6.
Whatever your game, you deserve to be well supported with BioSport's magnetic joint support technology, the natural, healthy way to support joints for everyday wear or during sporting activities. Available at selected pharmacies or online at biosports.com.au.
I've discovered something small, red and more powerful than fish oil for arthritis. Red krill oil from Bioglan. So powerful, it's used by the Queensland Reds for joint health and to fight inflammation.
Performance matters. That's why the Reds choose red krill oil. It boosts recovery and keeps the Reds on the field week after week.
Red krill oil helps support joint health and maintain healthy cholesterol. Trust the power of red. The Queensland Reds do, so can you. Red krill oil from Bioglan.
With small snacks like chicken minis, cheeseburger minis and rodeo minis, the mini menu is a little awesome. Burgers better at Hungry Jack's.
Everybody get up.
So you want to be the greatest? Hello, finals time. This is your time to be up and in it. Here we go. Loud, proud, this roaring crowd. To be feeling this good, you have to be here to be part of this. You hear that? You feel that? How did he do that? Your team, your time to be the greatest.
Mike O'Connor. Keep your eyes on that screen, won't you, in case your name pops up. You could be $1,000 richer come the end of this telecast.
Well, St George were looking very tired towards the end of that first half, and I just don't know that there's anything that Roy Masters can say or do to lift them in this second half. They must be very leg weary after their game on Tuesday night.
Roach.
Yes, they've got to score and score quickly to get back into this game. Otherwise, I've got visions here of Balmain running right away with it.
Hemsley. 8 metres, Balmain side of halfway. Tackler was Walsh. And this is Brooks. St George coach Roy Masters. He would obviously be a worried coach at this stage with an 8-point deficit. That kick will be taken by Brian Johnson in the field of play. Yes, that's the big question. Can St George come back as tired as they must be?
Well, let's just take a quick look at them now that their forwards have taken 2 and 3 tackles to get back into position.
Jarvis came on at the 24th minute to replace the injured Graham Wynn. And Wynn would have been used a lot in this second half to do that. To kick. He's a bigger kick at the ball than is Brian Johnson, the man who sent this ball down inside the Balmain 22 line for Gary Jack to take it out, but Trudgett has cut him down, hitting exactly in the right target area. And this is Davidson. Shadows coming across the SCG.
Just looking at Balmain, one can appreciate the value of Steve Martin to the Tigers. He organises and dictates play for them, and that's very essential in a youthful side like they are.
Roach now. It's out to Martin. His kick is going down to Brian Johnson. Coming out of the Noble corner. And Wayne Pearce has hit him and driven him to ground just outside the St George line. Johnson takes a look over the left shoulder and the right to see that he's got a dummy half.
It's the great attribute that Wayne Pearce has, a defender, is his ability to stop the man with the ball dead in his tracks. He doesn't need anyone to help him make a tackle. He can just do it all on his own and stop a person running with the ball where they are.
Chance for Balmain now. They've come up with possession inside the St George 22 line. The Saints forming up in defence as it comes to Lane and goes to Martin. He gives it out wide to Wigham, but Wigham is nicely taken by O'Connor. Dummy half is Gary Jack, and he's made a gain of about 7 metres. Play inside the St George 22. Balmain leading by 14-6 as Hemsley works with Whittaker, then with Schofield. Now it's Roach serving it up for Pearce, and he's taken by Trudgett and Jarvis. And 5 tackles. Martin's the player to look for. Here he is. And there's the kick. O'Connor getting underneath it for St George, but it's been taken by Jack, who passes. It's gone to Hemsley, on to Lane. Lane puts another kick up, and pressure for Brian Johnson. He's got it. Oh, he's hit the uprights in the tackle. He's done very well, Brian Johnson. I hesitated because he and Gary Bridge, the tackler, collided heavily with the upright.
Yes, and looking at Bridge in the back play, I think he's come off the worst.
That was the kick by Lane, the half-back. This is the Rank Arena replay. Back to Johnson for the kick. Going straight to Davidson on the 22 line. Lane and Jack. Just crossing the 32. Beattie and Henjack combined to make the tackle. This is Roach. Blindside for Lane. Martin. Dummies to Hemsley. Dummies to Jack. Gives it back to Lane. Pearce goes up the narrow blind. It's the second time we've seen Balmain put that play together. As Martin puts a kick down between winger and fullback, and it's going down into the in-goal area. They'll be forced to pick the ball up, the Saints. Oh, no, they're not. That was a decision and a half for Brian Johnson. The crowd, 24,652 at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Tap taken by the hooker for St George.
I must admit, Balmain are dominating the play in the second half to the extent that I thought they would. They've gotten away from their pattern of play in that first half somewhat. I'd like to see them just settle the ball up once or twice, and then that's a great kick from Johnson, but settle that ball up once or twice and start spinning the ball out wide.
Yes, indeed. What a good kick by Brian Johnson. A gain of some 70 metres. This scrum's going to go down 10 metres out from the Balmain line. That's the way the Rank Arena replay saw it. Parramatta and Canterbury tomorrow night, 6 through 7:30. We're here, boots and all, right up to the grand final. Max Krilich joined the team today, and he'll be with us right through until the curtain comes down on the Winfield Cup 1983. Scrums 9-3 to Balmain, and now it's 10-3. Lane taken by Trudgett.
Well, under normal circumstances, a scrum count of 10-3 against you will be very difficult to overcome, but particularly when you've played a midweek game, of course, that makes it even more difficult.
Wigham. Pearce. Wayne Pearce galloping over the halfway. Johnson comes at him and takes him to ground 32 metres out from the Saints line. Lane, Martin, Jack, Bridge. Run around for Jack. This is him. Henjack's got him. Beattie comes into support with Morris and over the top Stone.
Well, maybe not. Instead of kicking here, Balmain might be better served to spin the ball wide again.
Martin decides to kick, however. Puts it down into the Paddington Hill corner. A race for the ball. Oh, Gearon's got it for the Saints. Brought down by Wigham on the St George 22 line. Fraser. Good gain of 10 metres. Jarvis throws the dummy, turns it back for Trudgett, who continues the stretch out to the right, and Jansen gets a pass to Henjack, who floats the ball out. O'Connor runs it outside the 32. Oh, look at him go! Look at O'Connor run! Inside 32, up to the quarter, still going. The Saints have got to score. They must score. Jones, he's over. He's over, Jones, for a try. Boy, oh boy. What about Michael O'Connor? Tony Trudgett's played a big part in this. But oh, Mike O'Connor. Well, there it is, the Rank Arena replay. Jarvis did well, and then Trudgett spun it wide. Jansen came back in. Henjack did what Trudgett did. He kept that stretch up to the right. O'Connor beat Lane, got over halfway, still going up to the quarter, inside Gary Jack, and then back to the centre of the ground. He found Richard Jones, and he's in to score. Momentum appearing to carry him across the line. Here's the Rank Arena replay, head on for Graham.
Yes, and a super try from St George. They've come back very strongly. This is exactly what Balmain should be doing, spinning the ball out wide. O'Connor, he's having a big second half of the Winfield Cup Premiership. He did well there, and Jones backing up. He might be down in the scrum count, but he did well to get down there right under the post.
Right under the uprights. 14 points to 10 becomes 14 points to 12, and the Dragons are back. Frank Stanton going out onto the Sydney Cricket Ground, taking a message to his trainers, or no, he's simply sitting alongside the men who'll be taking the instructions out. Martin's restart. Johnson replies. High kick. Davidson held on the halfway.
Let's just see how well Balmain handled the pressure here. They were well on top in this match, and that try, well, because of silly mistakes and because they've started this second half so slowly, they've now put the pressure back onto themselves.
Ball is in the possession of Gary Jack. This is Roach. With Martin. Pearce. And right around the bootlaces was Trudgett. Lane. Jarvis and Trudgett closing the gap. We've got a ball game and a half now. Balmain leading by just the 2 points. Martin puts it up. Johnson gets under it, takes it on the full, and he's taken to ground by Lawson. So St George in possession just out from their line. What do you think now, Max Krilich?
Oh, what a game we've got now, Ray. It's certainly developed into a great tussle. I still think, though, Balmain can't let this St George side run. As you will see now, a great try. It's if you let this St George team run, they've got some very fast flankers out there, and they'll cut you the ribbons.
Max, do you think that Balmain have got away from their pattern of playing the first half? They seem to be playing the ball more up the centre instead of spreading it wide.
Well, they played it very tight early, then they moved it around a bit. And see, that's what I mean. They can't afford to let that happen. If they start getting stereotyped, they'll play into St George's hands. They've got to move the ball around.
Thank you, Max Krilich. Gary Jack plays the ball. 10 metres his side of the halfway. Wayne Pearce rucks it out. Hemsley. Roach. Wigham, Davidson. Davidson appeared to stop there as if he'd been on the end of a forward pass. Brooks tries to get a kick in, taken in by Jones for St George.
I just feel that one of the problems that Balmain are having is they want to set for something, and it takes them 2, 3 and sometimes 4 rucks to set, and of course by that time they really haven't established any forward momentum. They're simply taking the ball up, taking the ball up, taking the ball up, and then they're going to do something, and they're putting all their eggs in the one basket of that ruck they're setting for.
Jarvis getting it back to Beattie, now to Gearin, and the ball, it's with Balmain, but he'll rule the knock on. I was about to say he'll restart the tackle count because it came off the hand of that man, Whittaker, and then when Whittaker fell on it, of course, he's ruled the knock on against him, and the scrum is going down 32 metres out from the St George line. Blitz'em Balmain, says the sign. It hasn't been a blitzing, but they lead by 2. St George winning the scrum. It's out to Henjack, around the corner to Mike O'Connor. He's gone around behind Henjack. No Shepherd, said the referee. The kick through is loose, and it's Balmain's ball. Play on. Here's Gary Bridge inside the 22. Marquito. Benny Elias. Lane. Roach. Roach a one-hander to Martin. Martin is tackled 10 metres out. 4th tackle. Lane. Marquito. 5 or 6 metres from the St George line. Paddington Hill corner. Dummy from Elias, goes for the line, he's lost the ball. Elias appeared to lose the ball, and coming up with it is Horwood for St George. Trudgett. Nail-biting stuff, Max Krilic, to say the least.
Nail-biting, it's a tactical move there by Frank Stanley to take off Neil Whittaker. For him, I hope it comes off, but Neil's been doing very well in the scrums, and young Benny Elias is unproven as a big ball winner, but he nearly stepped over for a try there. Very big game by Roach, the front row forward. To me, a very fine exhibition of football.
Well, the ball goes into touch, 9 metres out from the St George line. St George trying to stretch it.
Well, it's getting to desperation stakes. Well down in their 25. They've got to try anything now. 2 or 3 minutes remaining. Look for plenty of little chips over the top.
The end of the road can now be seen. Penalty. St George. This could be their last chance. Michael Beattie will shoot for touch. Well, he's taken a quick tap. Runs off into centre field. You can bet your bottom dollar he's heading off into the country where Michael O'Connor was. Here's Morris from dummy half. Slippery Morris outside 45, over halfway. Coming up the centre is Cannon. Was it a late tackle? We'll wait for the referee. It's Balmain with the ball. He's going to give a penalty. Yes, right in front. Slippery Morris took off from dummy half. Now he kicks. Watch for it, and watch for the tackle that Kevin Roberts rules on. Late tackle, very similar to the one that Brian Johnson made on Tuesday night.
Well, surely there can't be any doubt about the decision.
We're going to have a 14 points all scoreline, it seems. That means we'll have a time, extra time, 10 by 10. Steve Morris. Well, this is shades of Manly. Where's Max? Is he still with us? This is shaping up with a draw. It's going to be almost a reenactment of Manly in '78. Heavens above. Let's take this kick before we start counting our chickens. Thanks, Stanton. Gearin, 2 from 4. What would that pressure be like, Graham?
Well, people so often think that these ones right in front of those posts are the easiest kicks in the game. They're not, especially when you've got 25, 30,000 people all waiting on the outcome. You've got 12 teammates who have worked all week for the result.
90 seconds to go. Gearin. Right in front. 13 out. He's kicking into the grandstand occupied by the Balmain supporters, but he's kicked it. Gearin is level. Balmain St George 14-14. Max Krillage. Shades of 1978, eh?
Shades of 1978. So the word, Ray, the boy took a calculated risk in taking that Steve Morris out of the play, and he paid the penalty. I think he had to do the job. There was a try on. He saved the try, but he's given away 2 points.
Max, would be a momentous effort if St George could get out of this after the game on Tuesday, and now they're going into extra time. It'd be almost unbelievable to think they could win it. I
was just commenting to the trainer how they've really stuck well in this second half to hang in there, and in fact they're leading the second half, and they've done very well, and credit to St George.
Johnson plays it on his 22 line. Jarvis runs it outside quarter. It's with Horwood now. Got a pass away for Mike O'Connor. A centre kick from O'Connor. The bounce is important. It's come down to Gary Jack for Balmain. Benny Elias, right on the halfway.
Well, now
Sudden Death Rugby League at its best now. Marquito.
Of course, both teams will be looking to pot a field goal, whether it be in the next few seconds of play before full time or going into extra time. A field goal, that'll be enough to win this match.
It's Roach feeding it, picking up Pearce. Pearce gives it to Lawson. Lawson tackled just outside 22. It's now with Balmain just outside the 22. Wigham runs it back to centre field. Well, Wigham look for the drop shot.
And here he is in perfect position, Stevie Martin.
Steve Martin's lined up for it. Oh, bad bounce. Gary Jack's got it. Can he drop kick? He's put it up. It's wide. No goal. So the siren has gone. Kevin Roberts has indicated the turnaround. 14 points all at full time, and now we go into 10 by 10 of extra. No overtime for that man or that man, they say. And there's none for you guys either, looking at me with those looks of envy.
Well, this is where the little men come into their own. The likes of players, Stevie Morris, who through that great run with only about a minute to go, pulled what looked like a loss out for St George.
And of course, Ivan Henjak also, Graham. He's a fellow that today started off in a tremendous fashion, but we haven't seen much of him in the second half, and look for him for a big 20 minutes.
Steve Martin starts off the first session of extra time. Gearin takes it outside his 22 to be met by Benny Elias. This is Horwood now. 25 metres out from his own line. Jarvis. It's with Henjak, and it's across to Stone.
There'll be no doubt that during the next 20 minutes of this game, the final 20 minutes of this game, both coaches will be looking to make even further replacements.
Johnson clears it from inside his quarter. Davidson. Gary Jack. Gary Jack's lost it. The Saints will come up with it. Jones. Jones passes. It's been touched by Balmain. I thought, well, the referees ruled the knock on anyway. Scrum just on the St George side of the halfway. If they're still locked together at the end of this playoff time, they come back here again on Tuesday.
Well, let's hope that's not the case.
Martin comes blind, met by Henjak, and oh, he's hurt himself. Henjak, he's clutched at his right wrist.
Well, there's no doubt the tactic that Balmain have to use from here. They're going to take the ball to the centre for four or five rucks and then look for a field goal.
Balmain has got a penalty, stealing the ball against Mark Cannon. David Brooks has said, I'll take the shot. That was the incident that brought the penalty. Ball stolen by St George. This breeze still coming out of the north, as I told you at the start of the match, gusting from 14 up to 30 odd. And right at this moment, they tell me it's coming through at around 30 Ks, 31 Ks.
Well, that's going to be a great plus for David Brooks with this kick. He's not the longest kicker of the ball in football, but this breeze should enable him to at least get the distance. What he's got to do now is pilot it straight.
David Brooks. Rookie with a kick that means so much. It's got the height, got the length, no, it's just got wide. Oh, I thought it was home. Johnson's tackle, 13 metres out. Well, Max Krilich, you've been here and you've done this. What's going through a player's mind in a situation as tense as this?
Well, Ray, it's not to make a mistake. That's the main thing. But then like that.
Like that. Gary Bridges tackled. 12 metres out from the St George line.
You can't make mistakes.
Lane. Brooks.
In other words, Max, it's not a matter of winning it, it's a matter of not losing it.
Not losing the game, Bill. It's very critical. No mistakes, no penalties. They can't afford to do a penalty like they did before by trying to reef the ball out.
Max, they've got to try and kick a field goal here, Balmain. There's just no doubt about it, is there?
Well, they must. That's the first thing. You've got to just take the ball up and try to put Steve Martin over for a field goal and then lead from there. That's the first thing. That's the objective, to get in front and then make St George come after you.
This is Hardwick playing it. They'll set themselves now. He's out second pivot, Martin. He's running it and passing it. Out very wide on the paddock.
Yes, I think that was very poor football on the part of Balmain. They had an opportunity to kick a field goal and didn't take it. Couldn't care what happens on this play of the ball. It's too late.
It's a bomb now from Martin. Up they go. Oh, Brian Johnson, magnificent. Johnson playing at 8 metres out, right above the pack. Robert Stone's underneath there. Jones. Jarvis taken by Marquito and by Pearce. Johnson. Cut out pass from Morris. Oh, there's one of those mistakes we were talking about.
And now it's their opportunity. All the experience of Stevie Martin to organise his Balmain side, just set it up for the field goal.
Don't forget Benny Elias either. He can pot a drop goal. Jack, taken by Beattie. Blindside. Roach. Hardwick is number 17. Lane is first pivot. Elias is out second pivot. It's gone to Martin. Now it's with Bridge. He shows it and gives it to David Brooks. Brooks is 15 out.
Now's the time for the field goal. It's just got to be now. It's too late to take any further than this. This has to be the play of the ball.
Marquito playing at 10 metres out. They've got it to centre field. From dummy half, Benny Elias, no goal. No goal, says the referee. Benny Elias, a look of disappointment as he fired it off from dummy half. Ball coming back to the 22 for the restart. Forward now. This was the shot by Benny Elias from head on. No goal, as it was verified by that head-on camera.
And Robert Stone's lost the ball in the tackle, and now it's another chance for Balmain. They seem to have had all the pressure on in this extra time. It's another chance for them to put those vital points on the board to win this match.
Out wide to Wayne Pearce. He gallops into an... Oh, he's lost the ball. Morris. Has Morris got it? Or has Steve Martin? He's played the knock-on from Wayne Pearce.
Very noticeable. The Balmain again starting to look dangerous simply because they've gone back to that successful pattern of the first half, starting to spread the ball wide.
Well, can we see that where Steve Martin tried to pick the ball up? I realise Wayne Pearce knocked it on, but I must say I thought the ball came off Steve Morris's foot. Now, let me re-emphasise to some of our viewers who may not know the rules entirely, that's not a knock-on, but we must stay with this action, and we find Balmain again coming up with it.
Yes, and what we've seen in the extra time so far, Balmain is still going to get away with this match because they're the ones that are getting all the possession.
Roach to play it just outside the 22. Sure as God made little girls, you go for a replay and you'll miss a drop shot from Balmain. They're on the attack again. Inside the 22, 12 metres out, Benny Elias. Elias to play it back to Pearce. Off it goes to Lane. Out to Martin, on now to Wayne Wigham. Wigham takes the tackle of Mike O'Connor. Balmain's tired, but heavens, St George must be even tighter. Martin's pass, oh, put down by Davidson, but it looked forward anyway. He was thinking of having a drop shot himself, Gary Bridge, from dummy half. And then Martin's pass, we believe, forward, and well and truly. That's Cannon. We've got 3.5 minutes of the extra 10 to go, or the first of the extra 10-minute periods. Scrum to go down. Well, St George are making those mistakes that Max Krilich was saying just aren't on. 12-5, scrum wins to Balmain. And Balmain have won it. Martin works with Pearce. That's off the boot of Gary Jack, but it's St George with Mike O'Connor coming up with it.
Yes, Wayne Pearce starting to come into his own now. It's looking like the 1982 Kangaroo Tour. Of course, he spent a lot of time out of this game with injury, and now he's returned, had 2 matches with Balmain, now in his 3rd game, and he's starting to look great. Here's pinned back, making plenty of breaks.
Jarvis thought about passing. Cannon across the ground, steps off his right foot, gets a pass down to Horwood, who can't handle. Balmain have got it again. Wigham, but the referee has given St George a penalty. He's ruled the Balmain player offside. Here's the ball being lost by St George, but the referee ruled that a Balmain player got a hand to it and Wigham was offside. And that's the reason for the penalty. Good ruling by Roberts. Lights on at the Sydney Cricket Ground now.
Let's just remember, if St George can withstand all this pressure in this second period of 10 minutes, they'll have that fairly strong breeze at their backs.
Beattie shooting for touch and finding it 12 metres on his side of the halfway. Henjak, Jarvis, up and at him. 10 metres on the St George side of the halfway line. Struck for by Benny Elias, and he's called it first tackle to Balmain. Mark Keto. Horwood low, Cannon high. Roach getting a pass down to Elias. Martin. Wide for Wigham, and driven to the ground out there by Fraser. Showground touchline. Midway 22 halfway. Saints into the field. Gary Jack. Martin. Martin stepping. Referee has ruled the turnover. No, he's given the penalty. He's ruled passing from the ground.
I think he ruled that he called on him to hand the ball over, and he didn't hand the ball over, he threw it away.
Well, here's the replay.
Fact, the ball did just touch the ground there, and there he is showing the ball away.
Yeah, I'm
Good
pretty
decision
positive
again.
I'm pretty positive it's for passing from the ground when tackled. Balmain getting another replacement ready to come on. Is that Ronnie Ryan? Ryan in 19 for Balmain.
Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if Steve Martin was the player to come off the field. Martin's looking very tired in the back play, and he did go into this game carrying an injury.
Jones. And that's the turnover again. So the end of the first 10 minutes. O'Connor. Bringing it back is Brooks. Graham O'Grady coming down the chute.
Of course, we all know what a good footballer Graham O'Grady is, and he's the sort of player that could turn this match in St George's favour. As is obvious by the scoreline, there's just absolutely nothing in it.
Benny Elias. Taken by Horwood. Lawson. Marquito.
The fellow that's going to be really suffering in this game is Richard Jones. He's used to playing 35 minutes each way in reserve grade, and here he is. He's going to be playing something like 120 minutes in total, and no doubt he's a very tired boy.
Oh, what a magic take by Michael Beattie. Right up above the Balmain Tigers. This is Cannon near the halfway. Second period of the 10 minutes of extra time. Henjak, tackle on the halfway. Well, St George have weathered the storm of the first 10, Max. Now they may get the opportunity to put some of that pressure back on Balmain.
Exactly, Ray. Balmain have had the ball for 12 minutes, the entire 10 minutes of the first half of that. Now they've got to weather the pressure, and they're going to see what we're going to see what they're made of. It's going to be a big test for the young fellows, and we'll just see what happens here. I've got a bit of doubt here. See this? Bit of pressure.
Davidson knocking on, and a scrum just outside the Balmain 22. Fraser off for St George. Graham O'Grady on. It's a St George feed, St George loose head.
Surely Graham O'Grady's on there with the message to win this ball and head 6 tackles straight towards the post.
Balmain's penalty. Saints down in the scrum. David Brooks taking the kick for touch. Tap to be taken on the 32-metre line. 14 all. Early minutes of the second period of extra time. Marquito. Oh, look at the face of Horwood, number 18 for St George. Will try and get you a shot. He's got a bad gash, and he's suffering from, I would think, the problem of the blood coming down over his eyes. 5 tackles for the Tigers inside the St George 22. Gary Jack goes for it, watching it closely, but it's getting away and over the dead ball line. So the advice has just come from the league. If this is a draw, it'll be replayed at 6:30 on Tuesday here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
St George with the right tactics here, keeping his ball well downfield.
Gary Jack injured for Balmain. So there's a replay of the incident involving Gary Jack, and there's the face of Martin Horwood. Have a look at that. Oh, that man bleeding profusely.
I'm sure there's no way we could get him off the field, but
Tigers is the roar from that stand. Well, let's see, it's Balmain with the ball 10 metres out from their own line, and Benny Elias is tackled. I believe Steve Martin is down on the sidelines with his former teammate Max Krilich.
Yes, Ray, we've got Steve down here. He's a little bit shattered at the moment. We'll have a word from him.
Yeah, I am a little bit shattered. I'm a bit disappointed we never finished off one or two moves down that end there, and we would have wrapped it up, I think. Otherwise, we're struggling again at the moment.
Max, can you ask him about the field goal? We thought they were setting for a field goal and it never quite came off.
Sure, Steve, the field goal, it never came off.
I just couldn't get to it. Jimmy Jack had a couple of goes, and once down there I wanted the ball and just couldn't get it. But we've had our opportunities, but we'll still, I think if we can still get down there again, we'll do it. We'll have another shot.
I think you're under a bit of pressure there, Wiz.
There we are, mate.
Here's Morris. Morris for St George. 15 metres into Balmain's area. Horwood, the dummy half. Henjack. Now this is Jarvis. Saints trying to work it up into centre ground for their shot. The ball is lost. It's a penalty to St George. Penalty to St George. Stealing the ball, and Gearin will take a shot. Gearin to take a shot with 5 minutes to go. That was the incident on the Rank Arena replay against David Brooks. And Gearin is placing this ball 20 metres in and 12 metres into Balmain's territory in front of the Brawongal stand patrons.
Well, if you could have someone kick a goal for you from this distance at the Sydney Cricket Ground, who would you like it to be?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Bill. He's one of the finest kickers in league.
3 from 5 for Steve Gearin. Faces of both Frank Stanton and Roy Masters. Can Gearin kick it?
I think it was from a similar position in the second half that he missed a kick. Was that right?
It seems like an age ago, Graham. I can't give you an answer. All I know is that this has been one of the tensest of all that we've seen at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And this man knows something about the tension. Here he comes. Hits it. Got height. Got length. He's got it. Gearin has kicked it. 16-14 to the Saints.
Look for a short kick up from Balmain here.
Look
trying
at
to
that
regain
crowd,
possession.
Sorry,
it's been a semi-final worthy of the sellout crowd.
Exactly. So the restart by Ryan. Balmain, knock on. Saints have got it. Saints have got it with Cannon to play it.
Well, the St George tactics are very simple here. They don't need to win this game from here. What they need to do is to not lose it, and they're just going to lock the ball up, work from dummy half, one off the ruck, and then drive the ball downfield for a territorial gain. And their defence has just got a hold.
Henjack giving it to Jarvis. Oh, what a fend on the little halfback. Jarvis pass to Horwood, goes behind them. Henjack inside the 32 line. A quick stretch to the left required for St George. Out to Tony Trudgett, on to Graham O'Grady, out now to Cannon, infield pass for Beattie. Beattie's inside the quarter, he's tackled 15 out. Beattie tackled 15 out. Drop shot by Mike O'Connor, looks good, he's got it. O'Connor's kicked the drop goal. Michael O'Connor from dummy half, the drop goal. St George 17-14.
Well, no doubt we'll get another short kick-off by Balmain in an effort to get the ball back. Let's have a look at their chasers here. St George have really stacked that area where the ball's going to go.
Well, that'll just go the 10, taken by Jones. And now, of course, the point of the exercise is that Balmain have to score. They have to score the try. They're 3 points down now. And Saints just simply have to kill that ball. Is that right, Max, in your opinion?
That's right. I think St George have come out of this in flying colours. Balmain had so much pressure on them and they couldn't score. Now St George, they're the guns. They're right on top.
Timeout. Oh, look at Junior. (14-6) at half-time in favour of Balmain.
Yes, and Michael O'Connor's staying in around the ruck area. If St George can spear this ball up for 3 or 4 play the balls towards the posts, don't be surprised if he has another kick for field goal.
Saints have lost it. Benny Elias scurries away with it to the halfway line. Seconds of the match remaining. Out through Pearce, on to Lane, now to Ryan. Ryan stepping and getting it to Jack and on to Bridge. Bridge is over halfway, tackled by Beattie and O'Grady. We make it about 90 seconds of time remaining. Out to Pearce, now to Elias. This man is Davidson, claps on the speed, gives it to David Brooks, taken by Stevie Morris, 32 metres out. Balmain. They've got to score. It's out to Hardwick. Now to Pearce. Pearce taken by Horwood, who plays with his face bathed in a sea of blood. Pearce plays it back to Elias. Out to Lane. On to Jack. Now it's out with Ryan. Kicks ahead. Johnson's after it. This ball may go in, touch in goal. It has. It'll be a 22-place kick to restart.
And St George won't be in any hurry to get it back into play.
So this was the kick that Ryan put in. He was hoping to send that winger down that line. So we trust that you're enjoying our extended telecast of the semi-final sudden death between St George and Balmain. The decision made by station executives, as I said, on the spur of the moment, well, basically keeping faith with our rugby league patrons who've been with us all year. And there's the siren. The Dragons live to fight another day. The Dragons 17, Balmain 14.